what happens in the corporate world is we all get sucked into thinking that it's our business, but ultimately it's not. And that's why people who have their own businesses have a different level of stress versus people who are in corporate roles. And I remember having a conversation with a doctor about this, and I said, "So why is there different stress levels between people?" And he said, "People who work for themselves can actually self-regulate, whereas when you are in a corporate role and you've got shareholders or you've got overseas parents or other entities that you have to report into, you actually have no control. So you have, and this is where it gets down to the uncertainty that George talks about with the stress levels. The stress levels are significantly higher because often you're working to objectives that have been top down and most often are not achievable. And that's why it's done that way, so that you can, the organisation can churn people through. They bring people in who are in their 40s. They know that in your 40s you're competitive, you're driving your destiny, you want to climb up the ladder. So they target those individuals, usually tertiary qualified, because they've been institutionalized to work in large corporations, and that's all about stepping the ladder because the benefits are there. There's the trappings, there's the prestige, there's the remuneration, and there's all the other benefits that go with it, whether it's company cars, healthcare, all this other sort of stuff is sort of bundled in. But it can go just like that. It's something that you don't realize can actually happen until there's a merger and acquisition. Suddenly you've gone from being a superstar here, someone else has bought you, you've suddenly got, you don't have a godfather anymore, you now need to be moved out because there's a structure over here that's taking that role. And suddenly you realize, oh, it wasn't my company. I wasn't the master of my own destiny. I was still taking a risk by doing what I was doing, but ultimately I'm getting paid week to week. And there may be a severance that you get, and it might be a nice one, it might be a year, it might be 3 months, it might be 1 month, or it could be 6 months. So, but ultimately it finishes. So there's the stress of what I need to do. What do I do next? So there's a lot of things that George covered off that, that scenario can play out in a number of different ways. But what do you do? And then how do you maintain the mental health to then go off and do something else, another role? Do you stay in the industry? Do you do something else? Do you pivot and do, go make pizzas in Ballina or something like that? Who knows? There's a whole heap of different choices out there. Go fly fishing in Tasmania. So I remember another corporate coach was saying to me that he's got a stack of clients that are in their mid-40s that want to go fly fishing in Tasmania because the stress of being in corporate is just killing them. But, fly fishing in Tasmania is not necessarily a sustainable business model. So these are the sort of things, but I think there's been some great gems.